So as I said, we are not going to use the scanner uh, in the current tutorial. So of course we are definitely will be coming back to that scanner thing because it's really helpful to you don't have to use the Atlas CLI to again and again to redeploy a plugin. So let's not bother about let's not worry about that because if you're as I said, if you're working in the previous versions of plugin, and in fact if you're modifying the previous versions of plugin, or you are looking for some help for with the previous of version of plugins, then it's really difficult to understand because Atlas, as I said, Atlassian plugin.xml is really important, and with the scanner, most of the component import uh, are kind of not there. So let's go ahead and use the previous ways of plugin. So let's see what the error is actually here. So let's go. Okay, so we have these annotations defined from the scanner thing that was a scanner dependency that we had previously in the pom.xml, which I commented out. So let's go ahead and remove these because we are not going to use that way. So now we do not have the errors. So previously we ran this Atlas debug. So let's clean the directory first to deploy the plugin on the server. We have a clean directory. Yeah, so you can choose this to do often if you have like uh, if you have to redeploy your plugin on a brand new server because you already have tested you already have been working on the plugin, and it's you have done so many things on your development server. Anytime you can go back and use this command atlas clean to clean up your working directory. It will basically delete your target folder. So if you can go here, there is no target folder defined here, right? So I will explain what target folder is actually. So now let's go ahead and run this atlas debug. Great. Okay, so what this is doing is it basically download all the required artifacts, jar files that needs to set up your local dev Jira server. So it's going to take a while to basically it sets up your Jira server. So this is a first time thing. So next time if you're running the Atlas debug, it's not going to take so much of time. So yeah. So let's wait for some time, and then we can go back and have a look into our Jira server what we developed just now. So right now, if you look at the plugin, there is nothing. There is nothing inside the plugin, right? So it just is having a pom.xml. So let me explain you the there is a very important file called Atlassian plugin.xml. So this is really important. So it has your all the keys. Like this keys really important when it comes to your Jira plugin. So make sure that you have it all defined. So the plugin keys right now, my plugin uh, which was automatically defined by the Atlas Create Jira plugin. So it will have your plugin. So if you want to have your own logo, uh, vendor name, and all those stuff, so you can define, you can change the plugin icon right now. If you go to the images, so this is the plugin icon right now. I am having for the plugin which was auto generated, of course. So this is plugin info. Basically, this is really important when you are developing plugin for your marketplace. Now we have web resource. So when in my second tutorial, I guess I talked about the AUI. So AUI is Atlassian UI framework. So we'll be using that once we are completely into developing this plugin uh, uh, for different purposes. So we'll be taking a project later on, and we'll be doing that project to understand the complete structure of the plugin, complete uh, definition of the plugin. So so you can see that these JS and CSS files are auto defined, and if you go there, there's nothing inside that JS file. So it basically gives you a blank structure of everything. So what are the important files that you need to have inside your plugin? So let's go back and see if we have our Jira server ready. I don't think it's ready yet. It's going to take some time unless it is right. So let me explain a bit more about the Atlassian plugin.xml. So we have this web resource. As I said, this web resource is defined for us. So this web resource is really important because this is how we are going to have our uh, plugin complying to the UI framework of the Atlassian tools. So let me show you the Atlas. So this is Atlassian user interface, AUI documentation, and design guidelines. So you can choose to go through and understand what this is actually about. It's not really difficult. It just gives you the important uh, aspects of your Jira plugin development. So you can go ahead and you can get the CDN. If you have done your front end development before, you can understand what CDN is basically. Either you can choose to have your JS or CSS file inside your directory, working directory, or you can get it from the CDN. So so that's what this is. And so if you look at the documentation, it has like everything. It has code snippets for different uh, UI elements that you would like to have in your plugin. So let's say if you want to develop a form, you can use the form from the AUI, because this is how Atlassian suggests us to develop UI for the plugin inside Jira. So that basically that is complying to the architecture that they have designed. So this is the design guidelines. You can choose to go ahead and uh, uh, read this, or basically uh, to understand the design guidelines that they suggest. I have gone through this many times, and will be uh, uh, we would be coming back uh, to uh, to these guidelines when we'll be developing the UI of the plugin. So I would suggest you to go ahead and read this to understand more about the UI guidelines of the Atlassian tools. So this is some this these are this is almost the same, that it basically gives you the inline dialog. So just remove this and you'll be on the latest. I don't know why this is coming. There's something they might have redirected it to. So don't worry about this. So latest. Okay, so they are redirecting the latest to the inline default as inline dialog. So there are various single select banner and all the stuff. All these AUI predefined forms, predefined elements you can use from the AUI. Okay, so let's go back and see if it is okay. Yeah. Meanwhile, our Jira server is ready. So great. So what that Atlas debug command did for us is to deploy our plugin on the Jira server. It basically triggered a local development environment of Jira server, and it uh, so it would have already the plugin installed inside this. So admin is the username and password. So you can choose to skip because it's not required.